If you're feeling confused and disorientated after dating a narcissist, you're not alone. Today, we're diving deep into why having a narcissist as an ex can distort your perception of secure relationships, how they manipulate your emotions, and the steps you can take to heal and move forward. Let's get started. Why having a narcissist as an ex can confuse you about creating a secure relationship. Well, dating a narcissist flips your world upside down. Their manipulation creates a whirlwind of extreme highs and lows, making a calm and secure relationship seem strange. They disrupt your sense of normalcy and leave you questioning what a healthy relationship should look like. Naturally, we compare our partners with past relationships. But when your ex was a narcissist, this can be incredibly misleading. Narcissists use confusion and emotional manipulation to keep you hooked, making any stable relationship seem boring, dull by comparison. This distorted view can make it difficult to appreciate genuine connection and affection. A hallmark of narcissistic behavior is thriving on confusion. They present themselves as the answer to all of your problems, creating a false sense of fulfillment. This dependency binds you and clouds your judgment when evaluating new relationships. Often, we mistakenly equate the intense emotions associated with a narcissist to true passion. This illusion can make new, healthy relationships seem unremarkable. Remember that passion manufactured through chaos and manipulation isn't genuine. Recognizing this distinction is crucial for your healing journey. Now, let me share my personal journey. I used to question my secure relationship with my wife, of which she created for me, thinking it was boring compared to my past with someone I'll call Laia. See what I did there? Laia was thrilling, charismatic, spontaneous, and seemed too good to be true. She had a model-like persona, numerous achievements, and displayed a star-like tendency. Her behaviours included high risk-taking, fantastical ideas, and spontaneous adventures. Who would not love that at first sight? But during tender and soft moments and times when things were getting vulnerable, there was a lack of empathy and vulnerability to share. There was tending to be a cognitive empathy, which is thought out by the textbook and not truly felt from the heart. This is typical of someone with a superiority complex and type 3 personality avoidance, masking vulnerability to seem the best. For them, being the best means achievements, winning, and attracting admiration. Losing means shame and a lack of worth. In contrast, my wife provided soft, tender feelings indicative of true love, which I initially dismissed as boring. But the stability she offered wasn't dull, it was real love. Narcissists make genuine emotions feel unremarkable by comparison. Now you may be wondering, how do they do this? Well, firstly, they weaponize passion. Narcissists distort our concept of passion to manipulate us. They activate our central nervous system, creating emotional highs that flood our decision-making process and make adapting to a calm and secure relationship very difficult. The irrationality of hot states is what they take advantage of. Dan Ariely, in his book Predictably Irrational, explains how we behave differently in emotionally heightened hot states versus calm, cold states. Ariely conducted experiments where participants answered questions in a heightened state of arousal, like during masturbation, versus a calm state. Questions like, would you date rape? Or would you wear a condom? Were answered very differently when participants were in an aroused state. In a calm state, around 80% answered ethically and rationally. But in an aroused state, those percentages plummeted. This reveals our susceptibility to irrational and impulsive behaviour under heightened emotions. Narcissists exploit this by keeping us in a constant hot state, making us more prone to poor decisions and emotional dependency. This couples with another concept, the toxic cycle of abuse in narcissistic relationships. The cycle often looks like this. It begins with incident. The narcissist creates chaos or drama. Let's say they thought smoking a joint was a good idea, and then both of you got sick. This leads to the next phase in blame shifting, also known as gaslighting. They then gaslight you to make you feel responsible for the incident. Step 3 is reconciliation. The narcissist may apologize superficially or act as though nothing happened. And then, fourth and finally, the honeymoon phase. For a temporary period, things seem to improve, usually more humorous, or you see each other's transactional bond to soothe a loneliness with artificial closeness, making you believe in the relationship's potential. The emotional manipulation and the abusive cycle create complex trauma, affecting our autonomic nervous system. We essentially bond and familiarize ourselves with a narcissist's ability to lower our boundaries, soothe us, and have the answer, leading to continuous cycles of confusion, curiosity, and then self-betrayal. This is what I call the 3 C's. Firstly, we have confusion. The narcissist's actions and manipulations create a constant state of confusion. This confusion leads to a desire for understanding or closure, which fuels the cycle further. Then we have curiosity. You remain curious about their motivations, their next move, or what you did wrong, keeping you engaged in the relationship. This is especially true if you have a fixer or savior complex or tendencies. Then we crave for closure. The narcissist ensures you never achieve true closure, always leaving you questioning and seeking answers. This leads to emotional exhaustion and self-betrayal once more. As you can see, the complex trauma comes from the memory effect on your autonomic nervous system, making it even harder to break free from the toxic cycle. A narcissist's tactics like gaslighting, shifting blame, and refusing to take ownership make you question your own reality. You end up attached to their outcomes and external validation, perpetuating the cycle of confusion and emotional dependency. This idea of attachment is reflected in chapter 37 in Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, teaching detachment. It says, "All things will form themselves. If they form themselves and desires arise, I subdue them with nameless simplicity. Nameless simplicity will indeed free them from desires. Without desire, there is stillness, and the world settles by itself." See, this detachment teaches us that only by letting go of the labels and meanings assigned by a narcissist can we find true peace and stillness. When a narcissist controls the narrative, they distort your reality, creating chaotic and unsettled desires. To move forward, ask yourself some deep introspective questions. How does being up against a persecutor feel to you? Does it fuel your need to know the truth, to get your own back? What does truth mean to you? What do you truly want to know for sure? Which outcomes do you feel heavily attached to, and why? If you were to never know the truth, what would that mean for you? Can you move on freely without always knowing the truth? Who are you, really? How can you self-soothe and self-validate, turning towards healthier sources? Remember, the truth is often elusive, and true closure might never come. Learning to find peace without it is a crucial step in your healing. Alright, now that we've understood the complexities of narcissistic relationships and their manipulative tactics, here's what you can do to heal and protect yourself moving forward. Let's go through some actionable steps to reclaim your emotional and mental well-being. Firstly, understand your desire-vulnerabilities. Narcissists through history are notorious for exploiting desires through the use of their resources, status, and capitalistic nature, often leaving us feeling mesmerized and captivated, especially if we seek security, protection, or a legacy for our family. Think Hitler with the deadpan certainty, callous plan, and order amidst the chaotic time for Germany needing an anti-force against the Communist Party. They seem to have all the answers to a pain or need of the people. Start by listing all of your desires, from the most obscure and internal to the most tangible and easy to mirror back to you. Reflect on how many of these desires have been used as bait. How often have promises been made but never delivered? And when you look at promised versus delivered, identify what follow-through looks like to you and what it means to have your desires truly met. Also think about attached outcomes. Evaluate the outcomes you are currently attached to. Do they mask the truth, or do they represent genuine fulfillment? Now look at danger as opportunity. Acknowledge the fact that the narcissist may see their promises and your desires as an opportunity to trap you in a vicious cycle, giving the illusion of reconciliation without genuine change. Focus on seeking truth rather than getting attached to outcomes that only serve to perpetuate the same cycle. These are discerning questions that, although you're not currently plagued by a narcissist in your life, it will definitely help you clarify that the person you are now dating is not a fad or a repeat, giving you ever more reassurance you're with someone wholesome for you. Develop a relationship with anger to become a non-compliant boundary setter. This is a crucial point. To set boundaries against persecutors, it's essential to express suppressed anger constructively. How many times have you said no to others lately? Have there been recent instances where you felt resentful for overgiving or helping too much? Reflect on those reasons why. Evaluate how often you have helped yourself before others. How can you make this a more regular practice? Writing a fuck you letter to those you hold resentment towards can be therapeutic. The goal is not to send it, but to release pent-up emotions to understand and strengthen your boundaries. This is all about going deep into those experiences where you felt really resentful, really angry, and you let it and unleash it. You swear in it, you use a lot of profanity, and this is a typical conditioning of good guy, good girl syndrome, where we colorize our language. We don't want to be profane. We have been too careful for too long and have not been able to see the signs of the truth. A fuck you letter gets straight to the bone. It may be emotional, but definitely get to that point of unleashing the feelings of feeling out of control, where other people decided on your behalf. And in that closed, captivated state, of course, we're angry. When we lose agency over ourselves, this is a normal response. But getting it out in a letter that's unsent, threw in the bin, or burned is a great symbolism of moving forward. Set limits to sources of energy drain and red flags of narcissism. Now, we often have an irrational compulsion to keep doors open. It's part of our human nature. But recognizing this can help us close doors that need shutting. Think about the famous example with Rhett Butler leaving Scarlett O'Hara in Gone with the Wind.
Rhett, you go. Where shall I go? What shall I do?
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
His emphatic closing of the door to her pleas, when you go, where shall I go? What shall I do? Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And this is a famous line and a great reminder to all of us that we have doors little and big ones, which we ought to shut. Next, stake evaluation. What's at stake if you don't limit these energy drainers? Think about the drama triangle once more. Assess if you're falling into the victim or rescuer roles. What would an empowered version of you look like instead? Victims are bred out of sadness and willful acceptance. Where can you now take a stand? Rescuers are bred from fear. What scares you? And where can you rescue yourself first? Now, what's really worked for me is creating wholesome desires that can't easily be capitalized on. Focus on building desires that align with your core values and which aren't easily manipulated by others. Think about non-negotiables. Identify your non-negotiables for moving on. What values, red flags, and mismatches are just intolerable. Then I love the concept of Mount Maslow. Think of your ideal partner with Mount Maslow in mind. Consider what a high altitude partner will help you achieve in terms of esteem and self-actualization. As when we look at the pyramid, narcissists thrive in keeping you in hot, instinctual zone of meeting sexual, faux belonging, and basic needs. The best relationships are those that see beyond utilitarian aspects of relationship. You require more, so demand it. And to explain what self-actualization means, it's in that spiritual state, that state of flow, when we're feeling activated to something beyond ourselves, we're giving back to a community, and we're truly feeling our best selves. To not sound woo-woo or cliche, but you'll know that when you're healthiest, earning the most, feeling the most confident, not feeling triggered or down, not unwell and ill, and have a very positive self-concept of who you truly are. That's closer to self-actualization than we all can really realize. And ask yourself, do you really feel worthy of such a partner? If not, reflect on why. Is there any reason you feel fundamentally flawed? And you can explore your upbringing, your parenthood, and those past humiliation and trauma stories as best as you possibly can with the help of a therapist. Now, I also would suggest reciprocal growth. How can you see yourself contributing to a partner's growth? Identify your most natural, radiant, and complementary traits that will foster mutual growth and elevation in a relationship, not a one-way ship. They have to be your desires, even if they may seem nonsensical. And we humans are really funny. As long as we're in control of our fate, we're happy, whatever it is. It's the idea of quitting the 9 to 5 to join the 24/7. While it's not a great outcome, people still feel quite liberated. Support Chelsea FC, even if they might not win the Premier League again. Now next, we must understand the difference between following your instincts and acting on curiosity. Invitations from the outside can psychoactivate and lead to confusion. It's things outside of us, intangibles, that are very much easy to manipulate. Instinct indicators determine how your gut feelings and body signals indicate when curiosity may become self-harming. Now, when you trust your instincts, identify which instincts to entertain and listen to, and which to avoid. Reflect on how these feelings manifest physically. Is there sweaty palms, a butterfly feeling in the stomach? Do you feel tingly, numb, dissociative, and outside of your body? These are strong indications something's up. Healing from a narcissistic relationship isn't easy, but by understanding your vulnerabilities, setting strong boundaries, and fostering healthy desires, you can take back control. Remember, you deserve a love that calms the storm and not one that creates it. Now, if you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe for more insights. Share your experiences in the comments below with any form of narcissistic relationship. I'm sure the community would love to hear it. And have you ever had to navigate a relationship or dating a narcissistic person before? What strategies have you employed to heal and move forward in a secure relationship and leaving the past behind you? Now, let's support each other on this journey to healing and empowerment, and by doing so, please do subscribe and share with a friend. Thanks again for watching, and until next time, take care and stay heartstrong.